Hello, everybody. It's Natasha Bailey here. We're going to start in a few minutes' time. This is the Facebook free live, How to Fulfill Your Galactic Soul Mission. So apologies for the late start, but we're going to start in a few minutes' time. So in the meantime, I want you to go and get a pen and paper so you can take any notes that you want to take during this live transmission. And also we're going to give people just a few minutes to come on board. So make sure that you switch off all your devices, get yourself a drink of water, and get yourself comfortable. And we will begin in a few minutes' time. Okay? So welcome to everybody. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Natasha Bailey, and I am a holistic transformation coach here at Soul Mission. And I'm all about preparing you for your soul mission and facilitating the starseed revolution. I want to ask you something. I want to ask you if this is for you. If this Facebook Live event is for you. And I want to ask you 6 questions. So just get ready. Here's my first question. Do you feel that you have a bigger purpose than simply working a mainstream 9-to-5 job in the system? Were you the outsider or the wacky one in your family, in your school, or your community? From a young age, did the world seem like it was run in a very dysfunctional way that disrespected people and planet, and this upset you? Do you get visions or dreams of leading a different life to the one that you are leading right now? And do you work with or sense energy, or do you find that you are psychic in a way that's just natural for you? It just is a natural way of being for you. And finally, do you believe there is a higher force influencing and directing the development of our planet? So if you answered yes to 2 or more of these 6 questions, then yes, you are likely to be my cosmic brother or sister. And you have been sent here to complete a soul mission to raise the vibration of this planet. But let me ask you, how is your mission going? Do you even know what your mission is? Are you clear about what your mission is? Are you excited about your mission? Or do you have some doubts? Do you have some reservations? Have you even got a plan about how you're going to fulfill your soul mission? And most importantly, are you getting results? Are you helping the people that you want to help? Are you doing the work that you want to do? And are you feeling satisfied by it? I'm guessing that you're here because you're curious and maybe you're not getting the results that you wish you were getting. I'm guessing that maybe you have some clarity that you need about your soul mission. Now, this could either be about what your soul mission is or about how to get there. Maybe it seems like a very overwhelming uphill struggle to consider how you might go about fulfilling your soul mission. Or maybe you're having some personal challenges. Maybe you're experiencing some obstacles in your life. Maybe you're having some personal challenges. and you're not quite sure how to overcome these. Well, tonight I would like to create an alternative reality for you. I want to create a time warp where you get to experience, believe, see, and feel the possibility of fulfilling your galactic soul mission. So this is the intention that I set for you. Tonight, we're going to discover what are the key obstacles that are facing you and how to overcome these. I've designed a method called the Soul Mission Alignment Method that helps people like you, starseeds and light workers, to fulfill their soul mission. And this is a combination of the very best methods, techniques, experiences that I've accumulated over a period of 15 years and that have worked for me. So after I've shared those methods with you, I would like to answer any questions that you might have, that you might be having some challenges with, or just some obstacles with. I'm also going to be sharing with you an opportunity to go a bit deeper with me. And finally, I'm going to use one of the healing techniques that I use with my customers. I'm going to be doing a healing transmission from 3-star galaxies. So as a light worker and starseed, we are very much connected to our star origins. And I will be doing healing transmissions from 3 of our star galaxies, from our cosmic brothers and sisters. So, are you ready to proceed? Are you ready to discover what some of the obstacles may be for you that you might recognize when I speak further, and how to overcome these obstacles? Okay. So before we begin, I just want to introduce myself and introduce who I am, how did I get here, and what's inspired me to facilitate you on your soul mission. And before any of you say, well, did you get here in a spaceship? Well, yes and no. I did hear the call. I did hear the call. The planet Earth needed some assistance. And I agreed to be born here to facilitate with the ascension process. But I want to share a little bit about my journey and how I got to get clear and to live my soul purpose, my soul mission, and how it makes me one of the right people to help you on your journey. So here's a little bit about me. So I was born abroad to an international family speaking 5 different languages. And I went to an international school for 10 years where we were taught to think globally. And I interacted with people from many, many different countries. And some of my early interests were daydreaming, dancing, astrology, card readings, going to the planetarium with my dad and looking at the stars and reading people. So when I was about 18, I decided to move to the UK and study at university. And I studied initially business studies and Russian, because at the time I thought I want to be this hotshot Russian-speaking businesswoman and make lots of money. But after university, when I went out into the world and I was working for a business and I was working in Russia, I became very disillusioned by the whole big business, by profit and loss. And I could see that people were living on the edge of survival in Russia. You would have extremely, extremely rich people, but then you'd have little old grannies on the side of the street selling their medication or, you know, packets of cigarettes just to survive, just to buy a loaf of bread. And I came back from working in Russia, feeling very disillusioned. And it made me decide to move to the charitable sector, where I worked for about 7 years, working to help charities and NGOs and social enterprises set up their community organizations to help people. So I made that big shift. And I spent about 7 years there until 9/11 happened. And I was very, very activated by what happened to the World Trade Center at that day. And as many people, including some of you, may have felt, I was very scared. And I genuinely thought, oh gosh, this may be the beginning of World War III. But at the time, I went through a kind of challenging period because my grandmother had just died, and it made me rethink my whole life. And at the same time, you know, the war drums were beating to invade Iraq at the time. And I became aware of all the media propaganda around this whole event. And I became very starkly aware of how the world is really run, how we are being brainwashed to see only a particular kind of reality. And this spurred me on for the next 7 years to become an activist. I was a political activist for 7 years. I participated in the anti-Iraq war movement. I also became very interested in anti-sweatshop labor rights, human rights, and also the anti-globalization movement. So this inspired me to move to London in 2005 to do a master's in international human rights, where I had a much deeper understanding, albeit an intellectual understanding, of the abuse of power structures who are trying to control this world, and also some of the limitations behind international organizations such as the UN. And around about that time, I also experienced a short-term but very challenging relationship. And that woke me up on yet another level, on an emotional level, about challenging relationships, about abuse within relationships. And it triggered a lot of memories from my childhood. And that's when I started my personal journey of healing and transformation. And I started receiving psychotherapy. Roughly about the same time, I also joined a homeless charity. I worked for a homeless charity for about 5 years. And it was the right time because they had this human approach to helping their clients, their homeless people, to transform and get back on their feet. So it was very much a kind of healing environment to be working with. And during my time with them, I had the opportunity to be an administrator and run their counseling service. So I learned a lot about human behavior and how this affects people from moving forward in life, and how people end up homeless. I was also the chair of the staff women's group, and I helped to create the first anti-bullying procedure for the organization. I also provided funding and training for staff working with female homeless women, sex workers, and victims of domestic violence. And I also submitted information to the UN Committee on the Elimination of Discrimination Against Women, to their UK report advocating for more counselling services for vulnerable women, such as homeless women. Now, what happened next was, as we all experienced, the 2008 crash. And a couple of years after then, I became redundant. I was made redundant from the homeless charity. But this was a blessing in disguise, because this gave me an opportunity to focus more deeply on my own healing journey. And the picture that you see on the left was a picture of me going to India. I went to India in early 2011, soon after I became redundant. And that's where I met a guru, a yoga guru, who inspired me to take my healing and transformation to a deeper level. As you can see, I was a much bigger girl at the time, and I was quite literally carrying the weight, the emotional, mental, and spiritual, energetic weight of trauma and unhappiness from not only this life, but, as I later found out, also from past lives. So when I got back to the UK after my trip to India, I decided to completely, fully immerse myself in my healing journey. And within a year, I had transformed into my picture that you see on the right-hand side. And this was thanks to receiving spiritual, mental, emotional, and physical therapies. And it really inspired me to want to give back. I wanted to give back to others. And I decided to become a holistic entrepreneur. And at the time, in 2013, I set up my own spiritual weight loss business using all the techniques that I had learned on my own journey. Now, something started to happen to me. And as I developed my business and as I continued with my own healing journey, I started to get visions and I started to hear spirits. And two visions that I had, one in autumn 2014 and another in 2016, really kind of propelled me forward to where I am now. Now, the first vision that I had was as a cosmic being. I saw myself, this was during a shamanic retreat. I saw myself as this non-human cosmic being in a vast, infinite blue room in the middle of a matrix or grid-like structure, a kind of a network, which spoke to me greatly. And I knew that there was some purpose that I had to fulfill, a greater purpose in my life. Now, the second vision was a dream that I had during nighttime. I was in the city, and this is a picture kind of depicting a little bit of what I saw in my dream. But I was in the city at nighttime, and the cry went out, "They're coming, get down, the aliens are coming." And whilst everybody hurried underground, I didn't. I didn't feel that fear, but instead I felt a curiosity. And I hid behind the shadow of one of the tall buildings and I looked up, and everywhere I could see laser beams hitting London, the city of London. And as I looked more closely, I could see that there were these little round balls traveling down slowly, down this laser beam shape. And it suddenly struck me, I realized that they were transmitting information. They were transmitting information to us. So that's when I started to search for more answers. I was already aware that I was a light worker, but then I started searching for answers. And it was then I discovered my starseed origins. Through a series of people that I met, I became aware of my Lyran origins. Originally, I'm from Lyra. I incarnated in Sirius and then Pleiades. And I'm part of the Indigo generation, the third wave to come to this planet. So what happened was that I let go of my spiritual weight loss business, and I set up Soul Mission in 2017. And I am your cosmic sister. And this is why I'm doing this particular work. I wanted to assist other star seeds and light workers like myself to help raise the vibration of this planet. And I'm using my life experience, my awakening as a light worker and starseed, and my training to help you with this. So my training and experience includes me as an intuitive healer. I'm an Akashic record clearer. I also work on awakening female energy. I'm also a galactic human activator, physical well-being practitioner, and a coach. And I help you to prepare for your soul mission by clearing any spiritual, mental, emotional, or physical blocks in your life, by creating balance in all areas of your life. And at the same time, keeping you centered within your heart space, so that you're focused and excited about stepping into your soul mission. So this is my soul mission, to assist myself and you with increasing the vibration of this planet. So are you ready to get on track to fulfilling your soul mission? We're going to be talking about the obstacles and the solutions that I've found that typically star seeds and light workers experience on their journey. And these are many of the same obstacles that I have experienced myself. And this is where I would like to share the very best solutions that I've come across that help me on my journey, and that I would like to help you on your journey. So, obstacle and solution number one. So the first obstacle that I've found that starseeds and light workers experience is they have an unclear energy field. They have an unclear soul record. So some of the symptoms of this might be feeling tired, exhausted, suffering from low mood or anxiety. Maybe you're repeating the same patterns of behavior over and over again. You might have certain addictive behaviors, or you might have family or ancestral problems that continue down the line. Maybe your grandparents, parents, and you are suffering from the same issues. Maybe you feel like you're being energetically attacked, or your energy levels drop suddenly and often. Perhaps you're suffering from some kind of debilitating or unexplained illness or accidents. Or perhaps you're suffering from extreme bad luck in your life. Now, a lot of this problem is down to an unclear energy field and soul record. And a lot of this is down to negative entities sitting in your energy field, holes in your aura, past life karma, ancestral patterns that are passed down, spiritual contracts, black magic, negative alien interference affecting your aura and your soul record, to name just a few things. I mean, there is so much here that needs to be cleared. And unfortunately, starseeds and light workers need to make sure that they clear their energy field and their soul records. So what's the solution? What do we need to do? So we need to work on your spiritual energy field. And we need to work on your Akashic record. Now, your Akashic record, for those of you who don't know, we all have a record in the virtual database, virtual filing database, as I like to call it. And every soul has a file. We all have a file about ourselves, every thought, feeling, and action that we have ever undertaken in this life or other lives across multiple dimensions. And what can happen is if we have incurred negative karma, this can bleed into this present life and cause a lot of problems. So it's important that we do that Akashic record clearing. And there's a number of ways you could do this. I use a couple of therapies. I use spiritual response therapy and also quantum psionics to do this clearing. There are other therapies like higher self therapy. There's also light body surgery. And also I find DNA upgrades and activations will change your energy field, will change your spiritual energy field. So I highly recommend using those techniques to keep your energy field clear. And then of course, we need to do daily clearing and shielding to make sure that we don't pick up any more negative energies along the way. And we also need to do proper shielding. And we need to continue to do our personal development work, because where we have unresolved issues is where we invariably have holes in our aura or our energy field where negative energies can get in. Okay, so what's the obstacle and solution number 2 that star seeds and light workers experience that block them from fulfilling their galactic soul mission? So the second problem is thinking and beliefs. So this is your mental energy field. So some of the symptoms that you might be experiencing is you might be doing a lot of overthinking, or your thinking might be muddled or unclear, or you might have some unhelpful beliefs about yourself. For example, beliefs like about your soul mission: I can't do this, I'm not good enough, I don't have the experience, or I don't have enough experience. Oh, there's other people who are out there who are better at me than this, or I don't have enough money to do it, or I don't know how I'm going to attract people to assist me with my soul mission, or assist the people that I want to work with. You might be overwhelmed by thinking about how to progress your soul mission. So beliefs come from an interaction with feelings and thoughts, and they shape our actions. So whether we take action or not really depends on how we are thinking about ourselves. Now, how do these limiting thoughts and beliefs come into being? Basically, they compromise our brain and nervous system, and how our thoughts can become like a broken record. We repeat, but we can't seem to get out of thinking in a certain way. Hello, welcome to the human condition. This is one of the key problems that we experience as souls who've incarnated into a human body. So let me give you an example of how this can happen, how we can kind of pick up an unhealthy thought, and how this can become lodged in the brain and nervous system. So as you can see on the diagram to the left of you, we might have a painful experience. Let's say you've run a spiritual business and it didn't work out. It was a disaster. Maybe you lost a lot of money and you made some interpretations. Maybe you believed, well, I'm not good enough, or I don't have the skills to do this work. And maybe all light workers and starseeds just are meant to be poor. And the conclusion is, well, maybe I'm not meant to be succeeding in my soul mission. And this is where the limiting belief is formed. So it's formed of a combination of a thought and a feeling. So the limiting belief is the program that becomes lodged in the brain and nervous system and held in place by feelings. So this leads to skewed thinking, thinking that's unhelpful, doesn't allow us to consider other options. And this makes us choose fear. This makes us take action based on fear, and we may take the same action that reinforces that, yes, we may not be good enough, or we can't complete our soul mission. And then the belief becomes even further embedded in the brain and the nervous system. So what's the solution that I have found that's worked for me? So definitely we need to clear and rewire the neurology. This is the brain and the nervous system. We need to do a number of things. We need to both do brain training. So I would say meditation is excellent. Meditation is excellent at calming the brain down, calming your thought processes down, so that you can think more clearly, and it helps you to become more aware of your thought patterns, of unhelpful beliefs that you might have. But meditation is not the be-all or the end-all. It just helps you to become more aware of where your thought processes are happening. So it's useful for becoming aware of what you need to work on. You still need to take the next step, and that is to do the rewiring of the neurology. And for this, I recommend one modality that I use, which is energetic neuro-linguistic programming. So this quite literally works on your energy field, your mental and emotional field, and this affects your brain and your nervous system. Now, you may have heard of neuro-linguistic programming. This will work as well. I just also use energetic NLP. I just find that works better for me. And I also find that DNA upgrades and activations do a lot of helpful repair work on the neurology. So what I've found over time is I definitely get triggered a lot less. I don't react in the same way. I'm much more detached about things. If people are behaving emotionally around me, I don't get so triggered by them as I used to. And being detached helps us to take a step back and look at our situation from a higher perspective. So this is very, very useful for working on our mental energy field. Okay, so the third obstacle that I find that starseeds and light workers experience is within the emotional energy field. And again, as I mentioned earlier, we could be operating from a place of fear instead of a place of love. Now, in very simple emotional terms, if we're operating from a place of fear, then in our body, we're going to feel tight, tension, contraction. We may go more inward. We contract in on ourselves. So that's making ourselves smaller. Whereas if we're operating from love, it's a much more open, relaxed feeling in the body where we want to expand outwards. We want to connect and be more sociable with others. And we feel peaceful and loving. Now, unfortunately, there are a lot of techniques out there that are not very helpful in regards to how do we manage our emotional states, because our emotions will drive us to either take action, no action, or the wrong action when it comes to fulfilling our soul mission. So let me ask you this question. If you're scared, if you think that you can't go for your soul mission because of some belief held by the feeling of fear or shame, guilt, or humiliation that, oh, I can't do this, I'm not ready for this, do you think you're going to take action on moving your soul mission forward? No, of course not. You're going to delay, you're going to procrastinate, and then another couple of months will go by, or years, and then you're going to feel worse because you'll have regrets. You'll have regrets about not actually doing what you came here, what you came to this planet for. So let me talk a little bit about some of the techniques out there that work and don't work. So one of the techniques that people use to deal with their emotions is repression, avoidance, or some kind of running away. So they might, for example, bury themselves or bury their feelings by, for example, overeating, stuffing their feelings down by overeating, or maybe by taking drugs to escape from reality, to escape from feeling the feelings which may, or other typical ways might be to throw yourself into work so that you avoid dealing with whatever feeling or emotion. So that's not really going to work because, of course, it's going to embed even more into your nervous system, and it'll just fester there, and it'll run the unconscious programs that will lead you to inaction. Oh, just bear with me a moment. I'm having some little technical issues with my presentation. So I'm just going to refresh my page and get us back on track. Okay. Here we go. Right. Okay. So the next thing that people try and do is they try to express their feelings. So this is typical, for example, in psychotherapy, where we talk and talk and talk about our feelings. And I have done this. The benefits are that you do have a healthy therapist reflecting back to you a more human and interactive way of relating to your life situation. The problem is when we are speaking, when we're verbalizing our feelings, we're actually cutting off the part of the brain that allows us to access our feelings. So when we're speaking, we're actually accessing the more logical thinking part of our brain. And what we want to do is to access the feelings so we can transmute them rather than simply expressing them. Because by expressing, talking about our feelings, we only embed the feelings even more deeply into the neurology, into the brain, and into the nervous system. So this approach doesn't work either. So really the trick is not to repress, not to express, but to transmute the feelings. This means to get in touch with the feelings, feel them, but also transform them in a way that allows you to release them, to find a different interpretation. And sometimes simply by allowing yourselves to fully feel the feeling, do you allow it to pass by. So if you look at children, you know, they may get upset, emotional, but they're just upset for a few minutes and then they move on. They're constantly in the present moment. They're not like adults who are thinking about the past and what has gone wrong, or are worrying about the future or what might go wrong. So they're very much in the present moment. If we allowed ourselves to feel our feelings and just release them in the moment, they wouldn't become lodged. They wouldn't become lodged in our emotional bodies. And of course, every thought, feeling, and action that you take is going to create some cause and effect. It's going to create some karma. So why not create the best karma possible for yourself, where you expand the love, rather than expand the fear? So what are some of the solutions that you can use to work on your emotional energy field? So really, it's about transforming emotional tension. So I'm sure you've heard this before, emotion. It is basically energy in motion, or rather that's what it should be, but unfortunately we allow it to get stuck. And this is when we need to use certain modalities to help to allow this energy to become unstuck, transmuted, and released. So what would I recommend? So I would definitely recommend all the previous modalities, and the following ones are specifically working on the emotional energy field. So for example, Reiki, emotional freedom technique, or tapping. I don't know if you've seen people sort of tapping on their face, their head, and their parts of their body. This works with the nervous system, with the emotional system, to release and let go of unwanted feelings. Now, the only thing that I have to say about working on the emotional energy field is that you may work on the emotion that's coming up in the present moment, and you can release it and transform it. But if the root is from a past life, or from a program, or some negative energy or entity, then we need to be working more on the spiritual, energetic levels. But nevertheless, we're here in this three-dimensional world. We still need to learn how to manage our emotional state day to day. So once we have cleared our energetic spiritual bodies, we still need to work with and live with our emotional bodies so that we don't incur more negativity. So a lot of starseeds and light workers, because we're more connected on that kind of upper spiritual level, galactic level, we tend to be a bit more out of our body. So we really do need to learn how to feel again. And that's why I would recommend the following modalities. I would recommend for people who need to start feeling again, to start receiving massage. Could be even a tantric massage, especially for people who have been experiencing sexual trauma. Also dancing, like biodanza or 5 rhythms. Shaking, because this again helps to release the muscular tension in the body and to allow for any feelings to come up. So I remember at one event I went to where we were doing shaking. After about 20 minutes, all this unexpressed laughter just came out of me. And I laughed hysterically for about 15-20 minutes. And simply that physical motion of moving the body shakes up and allows the feelings to come up and to be released. Also, any kind of body movement like yoga can help you to become more in touch with your body, and of course, exercise. I can't tell you how I discovered, but I actually discovered emotional resilience. I discovered emotional resilience more through doing stomach exercises than through psychotherapy, because it allowed me to trust my body, that my body could keep going despite some discomfort, despite some tension. And then once I had allowed myself to relax into the moment, I found I could just keep going. I could just keep exercising. And through this way, I generated a lot more energy and energy flowing in my body and in my feeling body. Okay, so obstacle and solution number 4 that starseeds and light workers experience. Yep, I gotta say, it's an unhealthy body. And as per what I said before, a lot of starseeds and light workers really do tend to detach from their body a lot and engage in, an unhealthy lifestyle where their sleep patterns might be disturbed, they're not getting enough sleep, or they're not getting enough daylight or sunshine that is necessary for the human body, for the hormones to work properly and to follow the natural biorhythms of the day and the night and the seasons. So of course, like this guy in this picture, if you're going to be watching television or sitting in front of a screen a great deal of the time, this disrupts a lot of natural body functions, as well as Wi-Fi being quite problematic on the energetic body. And of course, if you're going to be stuffing your face with crisps and other unhealthy foods, then you're going to lower your vibration. It's not going to allow you to feel energetic or positive. And when your hormones are unbalanced, it absolutely will affect your mood. You may feel that your energy levels fluctuate greatly, and you have no desire or to do anything. So if you're feeling tired and disorientated through all the chemicals in the food that you're eating, how likely is it that you're going to progress on your soul mission? Not very likely. Now, also, if you're not engaging in regular exercise, then the body will become sluggish. The lymphatic system will become sluggish. Your digestion may become affected. My digestion was affected for many years, partly because I was repressing my feelings, but also I wasn't eating properly. So that caused me a lot of digestion problems. And exercise really helps with digestion, with balancing the hormones, and just making sure that the energy is flowing through the body. So if you're not currently exercising, then I do recommend that you get out for at least 10-15 minutes a day in the daylight for a brisk walk. Now, the other thing that people don't focus on is the home environment. So if you're in a kitchen where you can't find things, or you've got a lot of broken equipment, how easy is it going to be for you to prepare a healthy and delicious meal? Not very likely. Similarly, if your bedroom is cluttered with broken items or a lot of things, or even books or dust, that's not going to be a healthy environment for your body to fall asleep in. So we also need to take into account the home environment, the energy and the flow in the environment, and whether that home is working for us. Finally, we also need some help with life management. Now, this includes time management, managing our time. This includes managing a diary so we can know how much time we need to devote to doing the things we need to do to pursue our soul mission, time for fun, time for socializing, time for sleep, exercise, all these daily activities. We may also need some help with money management. Unfortunately, there is this rather unhelpful spiritual program that's very pervasive in the spiritual community, that somehow money is evil. And money is, well, it's something that we want to avoid. But like with anything in life, it's our interpretation, our use, and intention of the tools that we have that influence what happens. So, for example, if you're a big business and you're going to use money to pollute the river, producing your popular soda drink, then of course you're going to be misusing money that's going to destroy the planet. But if we actually empower star seeds and light workers to earn lots of money so we can make a bigger difference, so we can use money to get our message across, to help more people, then we're using money for good. So money in and of itself is a neutral energy. It depends who's using it and for what purpose. Okay, so the solution is we need to be working on the physical energy field and on our lifestyle management. We need to be rebalancing our hormones through nutrition, sleep, and exercise. We need to be creating a clean and welcoming home environment in all the key areas in our home. And we also need to be doing the right kind of exercise for where you are on your journey. So if you haven't done exercise in a long time, then it's a bit unhealthy and unrealistic and dangerous even if you start doing circuits and intensive heavy weightlifting straight from day one. You have to work into it. And as your hormones rebalance, you also have to change the type of exercise that you do. I'm a qualified personal trainer, so I have experience in doing this kind of work. That's why I'm focusing on the physical as well. And like I said, we need to be making lifestyle changes, working on how we're managing our time, our money, and our home to make sure that all those areas of life are supporting us on our soul mission journey. So, in conclusion, in order to get you aligned to your soul mission, you need to get aligned in your body, mind, emotions, and your soul. And to do that, we need to work holistically on all the energy levels. I can't tell you time and time again how often I meet beautiful beings in the spiritual community who spend all or most of their time either doing visualizations, meditations, or healing transmissions, just working on the spiritual level and not paying attention to the mind, the emotions, and the body. We need to work holistically. This is what gets the best results. And the thing is, of course, as star seeds and light workers, we are going to be more attracted to working more on the spiritual energy fields. But sadly, we can also use those spiritual techniques to escape our reality, to escape the heaviness and the density of living in this 3D world. I can't tell you how many times I've wanted to go home, to leave this planet, and to get away, because it was just painful. As an empath, you know, I do pick up on other people's emotions very easily, and to be surrounded by so much negativity can become very heavy. But we agreed to come here. We agreed to be born into this human body so that we could experience life as a human being and assist other human beings to raise the vibration. So we need to get into alignment on all those levels. And as well, it's very difficult to do this kind of work on your own. I definitely had a lot of help from therapists, from coaches, and from health workers to get to where I got to. And of course, you do need other support. You need a community, a tribe of other light workers and starseeds who can relate to your journey and to where you're at. And good friends who can be there for you when you're going through your own transformation, when you're going through that journey. And also for fun, because, you know, while we're doing our work, we also need to be living our life and enjoying life and having fun and socializing. So it's good to get balance, not just to be always doing personal development work, healing work, but to get out there and have fun. Okay, so at this point, I just want to ask you, how are you doing? And do you have any questions for me about what I've shared? I'm just going to go and check the comments box and see if you have any questions. So I can see some comments already from Julie. There's the Shekinah. Thank you, Julie. You could hear me loud and clear. Brilliant. So things are not going well. So the question is, where are they not going well? What area of life? So if you have any questions for me, I'm just going to refresh the page and see if anybody has any questions about what I've shared. Okay, so no questions at the moment. But what I'm going to encourage you to do is, if you see this transmission, if you see this replay later and you do have questions, that's fine. We're transcending time and space here, and you can leave your questions and comments down below, and I will pick them up later and do my very best to answer them. But for now, I'd like to use one of the modalities that I'm using on myself and my customers. I'd like to do a healing transmission from 3 star galaxies, from Lyra, Sirius, and Pleiades. Now, this is a healing transmission. It also works on the DNA. It repairs your DNA, gives you an upgrade, and it can also activate any dormant DNA. Now, before we begin this transmission, which will take about 10 to 15 minutes, I'd like you to set your intention regarding removing any blocks that you might have about fulfilling your soul mission. So, having convened with them upstairs, with our cosmic brothers and sisters who are here to help us on our journey, they have said the more specific you can get about what block you want to remove, the more clear and precise the healing will be. And besides, if you want to come back to this point and receive again, you can. So you can keep coming back with different blocks or anything that you want to remove. Similarly, if you don't have a block, but you actually want to create something, if you want to, for example, have some assistance with gaining clarity on your soul mission, you want to visualize it or feel it or know it, you don't have to be clearing or removing things. You can actually invite guidance, invite clarity. So it doesn't matter what point you join in. You can watch the replay over and over again. Right, so before we do that, before we do our healing transmission, I would like to give you an opportunity to work deeper with me. So I'm holding an event on Wednesday, the 26th of September from 7 to 9:30 p.m. in central London. The event is called What's Your Soul Mission? And I'd like to invite you to come and do some more work with me. And we're going to be working holistically. There are 33 tickets going, so there are limited spaces. If you want to come, just follow the link that I'm about to put in the comments section. So let me just do that. And I'm going to tell you what we're going to do during this event. So let me just put the link in the comments section. Okay. So you should see it now. If you're interested in booking a ticket, do go ahead and click on that link. So just to share with you what we're going to be doing on this event. So you're going to be meeting other star seeds and light workers who are all going to come together to discuss your soul mission, how to fulfill it whilst living in this heavy 3D density. And we're going to be working holistically. So first of all, we're going to clarify your soul mission. We're going to do a particular exercise to get clearer on what yours is. And we're going to also do some additional clearing of your energy field. So we're going to be working on the mental level. And then we're going to be working on the body. So we're going to do some body movement to ground your soul mission vision. So once you've got clarity on your mission, we're going to ground it. Because when we ground it, we actually manifest it into being. We pretend as if it has already been by grounding it through particular body movements. And doing a body movement will also help you to remove some of those stuck energies or blocks that I discussed earlier. And we're going to be doing a healing transmission from 3-star galaxies. So you're going to get a taster session from me about receiving this healing transmission from these 3-star galaxies. So I hope you can join me. It would be wonderful to see you there. And for now, let us proceed. Okay, so I'd like you all to get comfortable and get ready to receive a healing transmission from 3-star galaxies. But before we start, we need to get you aligned to your higher self and to your monadic self. This is your higher self connected to spirit. So what I'd like you to do is I'd like you to repeat the following words after me. So I'm going to repeat a statement and I want you to repeat it after me. I am one with my spirit, my oversoul, my monadic self. I am. Activate the alignment of divine consciousness of, and say your name. Reconnecting to my I am presence. Activating the monadic rescue. Locating and uniting me to my monad. In all bodies that are linked in all dimensions and timelines, that are manifested. Pulsing in the universal grid. Activate the connection to all helpers, guides, angels, and higher self of your name. Asking for their help in manifesting wisdom, protection, and clarity. I am activating the threefold flame of your name, in all bodies and dimensions that are manifested. Anchoring unconditional love, divine wisdom, and spiritual consciousness. Expand through the universal grid. Okay, so this next bit you don't need to repeat after me. This is something that I will do for all of us. Higher self, please create a shield around me and around everybody participating in this transmission. Higher self, create a shield around all of us as a group. I ask Archangel Metatron to create another 12th dimensional shield around the higher self shield. Are all shields in place? Yes. Okay. So now that we've created a protective shield and we've connected you with your higher selves, with your monad, we are ready to begin the healing transmission. So just allow yourself to get comfortable. Close your eyes and allow yourself to receive. I call upon my cosmic brothers and sisters from Lyra, Sirius, and Pleiades. Please transmit your healing energies, your DNA upgrades and activations from the highest source of light, coming to us with the very best of intentions. Thank you. Okay, so I want you to take a couple of deep breaths in and out. I want to thank our cosmic brothers and sisters from Lyra, from Sirius and Pleiades, for coming to us today and delivering their healing transmissions. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Allow yourself to come back into the room slowly and gently, moving your toes, your feet, your hands, just moving your body gently and in your own time. Open your eyes and allow yourself to have a nice stretch. So, how are you all doing? That was quite a powerful transmission, quite a big presence standing near to me. So, but how about you guys? How are you doing? Let me just check the comments box to see anybody's comments. I'm just going to refresh the page. Okay. So like I said, you can keep coming back to this healing transmission and work on another issue if you want to. But for now, I just want to say thank you so much for today and for joining me on this Facebook Live. I know when we went over time, it was about an hour and a half instead of an hour, but I really want to thank you for joining me and for giving me the opportunity to share this information with you. So I hope to see you soon. And if you can join us at the London event, that would be amazing. I am going to put the link up so that you can see how you can book. So here's the link to the event, and the URL is at the very top. So once again, thank you so much for your time. I really, really hope that this moves you forward in your soul mission. And please give me some feedback and comments as to how you found today's transmission and how you're getting along in your soul mission. But for now, I'm sending you lots of love and DNA light. See you soon. Bye for now.